allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Diddy said his pledge, we heard him.
Bit of a lag.
All right, we have actually all 5 board members present, 2 are on the phone. So do we have any agenda items to table or remove?
We do have one that I will bring to you at a later date. It is indicated on the agenda. It is L3E.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have the minutes from our March 23rd meeting. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion. Mr. Reed will second. Do we have any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We do not have any delegations this evening and no recognitions.
That is
So
correct.
the next thing on the agenda is to conduct our annual meeting with the Ritchie County Middle School Local School Improvement Council for West Virginia Code 18-5-14. Mrs. Waldman, you may have the floor.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so tonight I'm here to present on behalf of our local school
Make sure you
improvement
talk into
council.
the mic. Is it on? Pull it down.
Yeah, just pull it down towards you. There you
There
go.
you go.
Thank you. Tonight I'm here to present on behalf of our local school improvement council, who we have lots of members here. So we're going to move right to it and talk about our members. So Melissa Davis is one of our teachers. Adam Davis, who is here tonight, he's our chair. Sandy Brown is also another one of our teachers at a track meet. Bonnie Holbert, she's our service personnel. She's currently out. Crystal Freed is service at a track meet. Kayla Mayhew is one of our parents. Krista Johnson Shepherd is our co-chair, and she is in a softball game. Gracie Young is one of our parents. James Hodge is one of our at-large. Angie Faber, who is here, is one of our at-large. Casey Hott is also an at-large. Reese Knotts is our very active student representative. And Katie Hott and Angela Trammell are counselor and communities and schools, also sits on our LSIC. This year our goals have been to review and monitor our strategic plan. We also looked at school procedures, discipline, and safety and wellness. As part of all of that, one of the biggest things we did this year was to welcome 3 new staff. And so there on the end is Chaselyn Jones, and then Maddie Phillips, and Emily Burns, 2 of the 3 of which are homegrown. So we're very proud of that because we're filling our building with homegrown.
Burnside.
Oh, Burnside, yeah. So our enrollment, if you look at it over the last 3 years, it's kind of maintained and stayed pretty steady. We're at 311 as of today. We just gained another new student today, so we're going up just a little bit, but we're hovering right there for the most part around that 300 mark. So throughout the year we do different walkthroughs. There's 3 different types. There's safety, cleanliness, and classroom walkthroughs. We spend a lot of time utilizing these walkthroughs to monitor different things around our buildings. So number 1 for us is our classroom walkthroughs, which is looking to monitor improved teaching and learning. We spend a lot of time just making sure that our students are getting what they need and just awing in the awesomeness of our teachers. We also have safety walkthroughs where we're looking at security and safety. We'll grab our PRO and we'll walk around the building, just make sure things stay nice and safe. And then our cleanliness walkthroughs, as we're going around the building, just making sure that our hallways, our bathrooms, our whole facility just has a welcoming and clean feel to it. One of the things that we're very proud of this year is what we've been able to do with our discipline data. So if you look at our strategies, we've utilized our CHAMPS program, which is a school-wide initiative to keep consistency throughout the school. Our new ISS model, which is helping in student reflection and reteach, and trying to do preventative measures. And so with all of that said, we've been able to do a huge thing and decrease our discipline data from last year to this year by about half. So we've really kind of focused on that. when you look at it. And when you take a look at the different graphs, you'll see that the blue is the level 1s from last year, and it goes level 1 through 4. So the blue is last year's data, the red is this year's data. You'll notice that at the level 1 end, that's like disrespectful behavior, they might say an inappropriate word or things like that. So it's the more minor offenses. And then it goes up to level 4, which are the more serious offenses that might be considered have a harsher punishment outside of the school system. And so when you look at all of that data, and you kind of see, you'll notice that our level 2s have went way down.
What's an example of a level 2?
So level 2 might be that the disrespect has went a little bit higher than what it normally would, or it might be that they have a habitual violation of school rules. So we may have seen them 2 or 3 times for the same behaviors, that kind of stuff.
Some of the other things in that could be like insubordination, leaving school without permission,
Fighting, things
physical
like that.
fights, profane gestures, language, just at a higher level, technology misuse, some reckless conduct. It's kind of a catch-all. One of the things, as she reviews this, this is set up by the state, and at each of the levels, you're told how you can respond to those. And I think the middle school's done a nice job with their level 1s, with the conferences at home, with conferences with students, involving their counselor to try to keep those, not just manageable, but teaching kids the correct behaviors.
Yeah, we've been able, by doing things like really trying to involve the community as far as parents and grandparents and those that are in the homes raising the student, trying to involve them as much as possible. We utilize our rooms, we utilize the parent conferences. Typically, if a student has a behavior concern, then we will actually talk with that student, with the parent, be it on phone, or we'll bring them in and we'll have those conversations of how we can improve and fix it, or maybe there's some underlying thing that we need to utilize Ms. Trammell to help kind of bridge the services gap to help some of those things. So in kind of working as a team and looking at the whole picture of the student, we've been able to really decrease a lot of this stuff. Our current ISS teacher that's been filling in for us, she has done a really nice job. She's out in the classroom doing preemptive things to kind of help with that. So she'll check in with certain students that we know struggle with things of that nature. And she's just done a really nice job with trying to help keep them at that level 1 or below. We've had a lot of turnaround with some of our students in that respect. Okay, so we're going to look at our 3 goals. Our first goal is English Language Arts, and the hope is always to get them as high as we can get them. Currently, our goal is 60% or higher. So when we break that down and kind of look out a little further and look at some data, we're looking at so this is our historical iReady IXL data, and what we found is that the iReady data kind of coincides with what the IXL data is showing us, so it's a pretty good correlation. And so when we go through and we look at all of that in the ELA form, we've went clear to the end of the year, so we've actually got to see a full snapshot of our whole academic year. And when we look at that, our overall, we are continually trending to go forward at a higher rate. So our students are getting those gains that they need in the ELA when you're looking at that data. And that coincides with what we're seeing with our GSA projections. When you look at this, we went from mid-year 25 and mid-year 26, and you see those correlations that we're kind of trending in the right direction, but you'll see that when we look at the end of the year data, we have a significant jump in all areas, and that's kind of where we're at. So our projections for 2026 look really, really good. Our goal is 60%. We're not, our projections aren't quite there yet, but we're hopeful that by the end of the year, the students will get those gains because there's a lot of skills we're still
Since we
covering.
have a couple people online, can you actually talk about some of the numbers there instead of just in
Sure.
names?
So when you look at our school overall, so for instance, if you look at 5th grade, so 5th grade last year, mid-year was 38, and so right now they're 36. They jumped to 53 from 38 last year, and so we're projecting that they're going to jump from 36 to 58. And so when you look at the correlation of that, as far as what the end of the year data looks like, I'll speak to that in a minute about how that might turn out in our GSA final results. But overall, our scores for school last year, we ended up at 52 at the end of the year GSA, 52%, and we're trending to be about 55% this year. So we're still seeing growth in ELA.
Go back over your strategies too, please.
Some of the things we do to kind of help encourage our students to meet those goals and to kind of fill in some of the gaps is we're trying to take the IXL program. Our teachers do a nice job with taking that program and assign lessons that go along with what they're teaching in class to reinforce that skill. And in those IXL lessons, it's not only the skill, but then it also has videos and things that allow it to be taught to them a little different way if they maybe didn't quite understand something or need refreshing on some of the skills that they're being taught. We spend a lot of time looking at our data throughout the year for our team's intervention program. Every time we get new data, we're looking at that. And so periodically, about once a month, I would say, on average, we are looking at that data going, okay, here's what skills students are not understanding, and let's put them in skill groups, and then we're remediating those skills specifically. So they kind of travel and move, and their rotations kind of change, so they're never with the same kids majority of the time because they're looking at different skills. And so we really address and dig deep down into those skills. We also use top score writing because, of course, the writing score affects the overall ELA reading score greatly. So we're really pushing top score writing. And so the kids have learned a lot about outlining things like that, and they do a lot of that concentrated writing within their ELA classes. And then we have lots of teachers that are using the GSA modules that are allowing the kids to see in real time GSA type written questions that help them just be more familiar with the platform and how the questions are being asked. Thank you. And so we're going to kind of cover the same thing in goal 2 with math. We're still wanting 60% or better. Our goal is always better. So when we look at math, we look at overall, what you can see from our trends is that if you look at that overall, typically we're rising. So from 2023, we were at 36%. We're projected at this point, we actually made this because this is the year-long data we've gotten our end-of-year snapshot for iReady and IXL. So we actually ended the year this year with 46% proficient. So like I said, that's a very good trend to be on because that also correlates with the overall information that they need to be successful in the GSA. So when we look at those GSA projections, we're looking from mid-year to end of the year. So if you break it down and look at across the board, we've had a lot of various growth. We have some that have kind of maintained that we're hoping to still push because we're right there to that mid-year, and that mid-year there's still a lot of material to cover before the GSA, the final GSA. So like for instance, if you look at the 5th grade, they finished last year with a 49% proficiency. Our projections at this point is a 59% proficiency in there. So we're almost hitting that 60% benchmark. 6th, 7th, and 8th are a little lower. We're looking from 39 to 45 and from 45 to 37. 8th grade, we're looking 33 to 42, but overall, we're about 47 to 49 overall average for the school. So again, we're still seeing growth. We're still trending forward, just continuing to use those teams, those GSA models, and those IXL specific lessons to really hone in on some of these skills so that way we can continue to improve the overall picture of their academics. One of the things we're very, very proud of is goal number 3. We're looking at our chronic absenteeism specifically, and we wanted to get that less than 15%. So chronic absenteeism is 8 or less absences throughout the school year. So we've really come a long ways with that. Athletics plays a huge part of it, as you saw the young man, the wrestler. We have been able over the last 3 years, from 24 to 26, 2024, we started with 23%. We've got that down to 19. Our goal this year was 15, and we're currently setting at 12% chronically absent. So students have really stepped up and have, I gave them big applause for it this morning. They stepped up and they're doing a nice job with coming to school and trying to fix lots of things, and a lot of it has to do with those out here that are supporting us in their programs. So things like clubs and organizations, which Ms. Hott and Ms. Trammell do a wonderful job with. Random prize baskets, they love those. Two of our biggest ones probably is our monthly perfect attendance brag tags and then our attendance recognition wall. As you can see from the picture, they love to look for their name and see if their name's up there on that wall because they want to make sure they tell everybody that, oh, I'm here and you're not. So it's a big race. They're very competitive. I just want to end with saying that at Ritchie County Middle School, we're very dedicated to the academic excellence. That's our huge focus, and so just wanted to give some accolades to the teachers and students from last year, the areas that we received top 10 ranking. So in math, our 5th grade was 8th, our 6th grade was 8th, and our 7th grade was 6th. In ELA, our 7th grade was 5th, and our 8th grade was 8th. And when you look at some of those projections, like for instance, that 5th grade math, it was at 49%, we got 8th in the state. This year, we're projected to be 59% proficient. So hopefully that number is going to continue. We're going to move further up the chart because we're aiming for number 1. And the students know we're competitive and they own their scores and the teachers own their scores, and we're continuing. We've been able to make progress in areas to make positive improvements in positive behavior and also in positive academic strides.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for Mrs. Mulholland?
So the goal for math was 60%. Is that what the goal was for English as well?
Yes.
And obviously, we are below that goal basically in every grade level. Was that correct?
Yes.
Yet we still rank in the top 10 in the state?
Yes.
Because that goal is our goal.
Yeah, that's our goal, and this is compared to state rankings or state averages.
So we set our goal above the state average.
Okay.
Right?
Well, yes, that's a helpful explanation because it looks like that you're not meeting the goal,
Yes.
which I understand that you have stretch growth, and that's great, and I want you to be able to get to where we meet that goal. But I guess the point is, even though the goal isn't met, our students are still ranking very well in state rankings.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And we are, like, someone asked us when we were working on this, where do you get that 60%? Well, we look at the trend and how to set those goals when we sit down and look at the county and at our strategic plan, look at the school strategic plan, and you don't want to set your goal to be the state average if you're above the state average. And so we set.
We always strive for higher, yeah.
Can you go back to slide 8? I'm gonna ask a question that will probably pain Mrs. Hott.
Go ahead. Why'd you say that?
Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, I see 5th grade, and I see 5th grade for 25, and then.
Click on it. Click on the 25 so you can see what she's looking at.
So,
At the top, there you go. There's 50.
can I make a jump that the 5th grade 25 is the 6th grade 26?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That doesn't paint us. We actually looked at that today when we were
Yes,
reviewing
we
this.
did.
Well,
But you'll notice it goes from 53 to 50,
Yeah.
but that's because the content's different, what they're measured on is different.
So, but can you take whatever you did off so they're all bright? I can't see. So, if I wanna look at 5th grade comes in middle of year, or beginning, what's the white? Middle of year 25?
Yes. So it's the middle of
So
last
they're
year.
at 38, but if you look at middle of year, by the time they're at 6th grade, they're 44, so that's also showing growth?
Yes.
Am I reading
Yes,
that
yes,
correct?
Yes.
Okay, then is 7th grade harder? Like, cause if the 44 goes down to 32,
I project that those 7th grade skills, they hone in on a lot of those, like they teach some new skills, but then they hone in on a lot of those skills towards the end of the 7th grade year from like December on. And we took the benchmarks right after we came back from break, like a couple weeks after we came back from that December break.
Yep.
So I foresee those numbers going even higher.
okay.
And that is something we did this year, and we had to look at when we set our projections. We actually tested a little earlier in all of these than we did last year, because we found out last year we got the data too late to use it to change things and
Right,
to
'cause
implement. So
we
we did adjust it a little earlier.
We took all of this data, so we look at the IXL data almost on a weekly basis. And then monthly, the staff looks at it as well and looks at that team's time. we really utilize that intervention time to hone in on specific skills that are gaps for certain students. And so when we looked at that, and then come December or January, we were able to compare it against the GSA projections and what they did on the benchmark to even take that a step further and say, okay, well, it might be this, but within that, there's a subcategory that they still need to pick up to help bring up that score. So that's why I foresee that changing quite a bit.
So I need to say I'm very proud of Dr. Jackson. That was a good pickup. I'm trying to
He
pay
didn't like
attention.
panic us at all.
I probably was talking about that today. Because we were like, gee, that would work, because it's
Yeah.
the same group of kids,
Yep.
and you can
We
follow
follow them up through, yeah.
Okay, also, the discipline, the reduction in level 2 discipline, that's phenomenal, whatever you guys are doing.
Thank you for
Great.
doing it.
Thank you for doing that.
It takes the
Keep doing
village.
it. Right, so then my last question, and now I'll open the floor to the rest of you all, is about chronic absenteeism. I think it's great that it's down to 12%, and maybe this is a question for you. At what point in time does it get to where it's beyond us, to where it's a truancy issue, or is that just a small portion of the 12%?
So it basically, truancy really looks at unexcused absences only. So chronic absenteeism looks at excused and unexcused, where truancy really focuses on the unexcused absences. So at 10 unexcused absences is when we get others involved within the community, but 3 and 5 days of unexcused days, that's when we start having meetings. We've honestly been doing everybody, once they hit that 3 mark, just blanket across the board. We've been pulling parents in and having meetings because we're trying to increase that contact early by targeting those students that start with that 3 unexcused or 3 absences period, to kind of slow that down. And so that's what's helped this year, is we've had a lot more parent meetings. We've also involved some of the community members to come in and have those early meetings a little bit earlier than what they are typically done, so that way we can stop it. And we really tried to target some of the 5th grade coming in here towards the end of the school year, because we want to set that trend with them that we really need them in school.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I guess I got a comment that, I don't know how much you can comment on it, but, and I sound terrible, I got a cold. But attendance is such a big indicator of a great school, having great attendance. And a lot of times, having the regular teacher not in class as far as attendance is a big deal, especially in middle school. And really important for those with IEPs. My daughter's one of them. And that's a struggle at the middle school, and I think it's getting better.
Yes.
And that's, I think, something for the teachers. Of course, you can't change your health sometimes, and you can't change circumstances, but having the teachers there, the regular teacher, is a big deal. Having the subs there, even though they're supposed to know the IEPs and unassignments here, it's not always done well. You guys do the best you can, but having regular teacher attendance is a big deal in the middle school to get those numbers up.
And I will tell you that's something this year. In fact, I don't know if you saw on our picture of the wall, but there's now staff attendance for the Strive for 95, because now they're getting all competitive. I mean, they're a competitive group of staff.
So you guys have a staff attendance?
Yeah, like they're all competitive about it, and now they can earn stars to go on their board. Like, yeah, they're like, listen, they're like, are you putting names on them? Because what happens if it comes from that door to that door? So they're super competitive, and it's really changed our atmosphere as far as teacher attendance. It's really greatly improved this year.
That's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. I think like everything else at Ritchie County Middle School, it's trending up.
I don't have any questions. Great presentation, and I think it's showing that you're apparently doing something right because your scores are going up, so.
We appreciate that. We're working hard, and our kids are too.
And you don't have to deal with Bryson this year.
I know, that fixed a lot of problems. Gave me a lot more free time, Ryan.
Those level 2s are down.
Guaranteed. Either 2 or 3.
Well, we appreciate your presentation, and we appreciate you all coming. We know that the challenges of the middle school, I spent a lot of my career in one. I think it takes a special person. Probably the joy of my life was in the middle school. I enjoyed that age level. I can say that because probably had some of you here in the middle school when you were.
You used to yell at me.
Yeah, some of you are here in the middle school. But I do think it's a challenging time, but it is also an impactful time where as adults you can help make impact and changes and help direct students. And so we appreciate that because, you know, our goal, especially these last two groups that we're listening to, middle school and high school, that is to make sure we are producing good, solid adults for our communities and to help them to be happy and successful. So
And you know
I
what?
think you got to give them the tools.
Absolutely, and you know, Dr. Jackson just jumped in there on questions. I didn't show you my video.
Oh, I would love to see your
I
video.
want you to see the 10-second video.
Good job.
Well, I very much appreciate your presentation and congratulations, Ritchie County Middle School, on growth. We're very proud of you and thank you for having a student present. Beautiful to see a student at a board meeting.
She's my most active student. You notice she's representing us well in many of those slides on the video.
Yes, very, very successful. So you are welcome to stay with us for the rest of our meeting, or you may at this moment go on about your business.
Thank you all.
Jason, you pay me stiffly for some reason.
Huh?
I said I'm stiffly now for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, here. All right, up next is the superintendent's report and academic updates.
I just have a couple of things this evening. I have provided you, in front of you, a letter that just lets you know that our school calendar for next year has been officially approved. And so with that said, there will be, in the next few board meetings, a lot of things based on that calendar for approval. And so the first step is just letting you know it has been finalized and it's official. It also can be found on our website if anyone needs to see a copy of it. The Board of Education draft schedule, this is one of the things for next year, is the 26-27 regular meeting schedule. If I need you guys to look over that, get back to me if there's any that we think there's a reason that we can't hold it on one of these days, and we can make adjustments. So I'm just really providing it to you all to look at, check with it, with your calendar. If there are no changes, or if there are changes, we will make those and bring it back to the next meeting. So I just want to get that to you. And the last thing is, I just want to remind you that the West Virginia School Board meeting, the regional meeting is April 15th at WVUP for those of you who are planning to attend. That is next week. And I think the dinner's at 5:30, the meetings actually start at 6:30. So just letting you know that that is coming up soon, and that is the regional meeting for your organization. And that's all I had.
Next Wednesday.
Yes.
And then there's a School Board Association training on the 2nd of May.
Yes.
As well.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, any questions? All right, next we have a director report from Sonia Hott, Director of Student Support Services.
Good evening. I'd like to provide you with an update on our testing schedule. The 8th graders took the Golden Horseshoe multiple choice and written test in March. The ALPA 21 for our English language learners has been completed. The high school will administer the SAT school day on April 14th to all 11th graders. 3rd through 8th grade will take the GSA the week of May 4th. And the students on alternative assessment or alternative standards will take the KITE test between April 13th and May 15th. And I'd also like to provide an update on our special education monitoring, which is completed on a 4-year cycle. The State Department notified us 30 days prior to our monitoring date, which was on February 23rd. We were asked to submit items for a desk review and an IEP review prior to their arrival. They visited Smithville, Ritchie County Middle School, and Ritchie County High School on March 24th and 25th. While on the school visits, they interviewed the principal, selected teachers, and selected high school students. They also conducted classroom observations in general and special education classrooms. And they will provide us a report within 90 days of completion. Do you guys have any questions?
You said they were there when?
March 24th and 25th.
Okay. So it'll be summer.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, next we have the consent agenda, which is approving volunteer driver agreements.
Which is the smallest one I think we've ever had. We have one item for the consent that I ask that you approve, and that is for a volunteer driver commitment agreement.
Do we have a motion for approval? Sorry, somebody else was trying to call in, I can't merge with their call, it's crazy. Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Reed will second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and next we have resignations.
We have the following resignations: Dan DePino from bus operator 5109, Corey Farley as the assistant football coach, effective as of April 8th, and Dan Benoit, for the purpose of retirement, will be retiring from as a teacher July 31st, 2026. Ask that you approve those resignations.
We have a motion to approve the resignations. Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That was in unison, you guys.
That's right.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have resignations submitted after publication.
We have received 3 resignations after the publication. One is for Jerry Adams for the purpose of retirement, and he is a maintenance worker here for Ritchie County Schools. Also, Ellen Butcher as the assistant volleyball coach at Ritchie County High School, and Ellen Butcher as a ticket taker at Ritchie County Middle School High School. I ask that you approve those resignations with the dates effective listed.
The superintendent is recommending that we approve the resignations submitted after publication. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the Motion, Mr. Reed will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have employments.
Annually, we are required before May 1st to reapprove, according to West Virginia School Law 18-9-6, approve Lori Wells to serve as our county appointed treasurer for the following school year. So we are meeting that requirement and asking you to approve Mrs. Wells. Also, we have a leave of absence, and we would like to employ Lindsay Flaveris as the in-school suspension teacher at Ritchie County Middle School, Jeanette Cox as a substitute teacher, and Dan DePino as a substitute bus operator.
Do we have a motion for approval of the employments as stipulated on the record? Ms. Reed makes a motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We tell Lori we're very thankful she gets to continue with her role.
She does very well. We'll get to see her the next meeting.
Next, we have reemployment for the 26-27 school year.
You were provided a list of professional service personnel that are probationary employees, and we ask that you approve those as they were stated.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Reed will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next, we have payment of bills in the amount of $209,391.98. Do we have Mr. Reed makes the motion to approve, Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And next, we have financial requests.
We have supplements and transfers, and we have one supplement and 7 transfers. Mrs. Wells has provided you, and it's in front of you, a budget revision request summary of why these items are occurring. You will see that the majority of the transfers are to get the money in the right, correct object code for the iPad and the refresh that's going on in technology. We had a supplemental, which is to match the GPS grant submission and awards, and then 2 other transfers with some indirect cost and ABE federal revenue adjustments. And so as I would ask that you to approve the supplements and transfers, as well as to approve an agreement to purchase internal connection products and services from Advantage Technology, which is out of Charleston, West Virginia, in the amount of $59,619.50 through Category 2 E-rate funding. So what that means is we're beginning our new cycle with, you get E-rate money for like phone lines and that kind of thing, like general every kind of day stuff. But you also get, like in a cycle, you get so much money per area or per nonprofit that allows you to do what are called Category 2 projects. And so our tech gentlemen are working on a Cat 2 project to do some internal connections and some services that we need. So even though it has a cost of $59, almost $60,000, 85% of that will be funded through the E-rate, and we will pay 15% of that. And so because of our E-rate company, that has to be on here to let you know that that's the direction we're going with that. We also are would like to purchase a 2028 bus. This will be a special needs bus because our backup bus is getting to where we need to always have 2 special ed on the fleet. So we need to make sure that we get another one of those. And then also to approve Workplace Solutions Cooperative agreement with Cintas for custodial supplies and equipment. They are on the state bid, and they come through the co-op Omni Group. So I ask that you approve all those financial requests as listed.
Do we have a motion for approval of the financial requests? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mr. Reed will second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have any requests for agenda items for our next board meeting? Aside from the fact to check your calendars.
Check the calendars.
So
Do we-
Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Tuesday, April 21st.
board member committee reports. All right, so our next regular meeting will be held again on a Tuesday, April 21st at 6 at the Ritchie County Board of Education office. And that is when we finally get to have our annual statutory meeting. And until then, we will continue to remain recessed. The time is 6:41. I don't know what time it is. Does anybody have a motion to continue our recess? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second. All those in favor of continuing our recess, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're recessed.